Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to recent reports, Man United have forced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to change his transfer plans. Now David Ornstein has confirmed that Ed Woodward will leave Manchester United in the summer rather than the end of the year. Now, it was announced last week that Ed Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. I presume a lot of Manchester United fans, or I should say all Manchester United fans, will be very, very delighted because we have been critical of Ed Woodward for a long time. Ed Woodward has had a 16-year association with Manchester United. Now, apparently, Woodward will get to choose our next chief executive. Now, it said recently there could be 5 candidates Manchester United could be looking at to replace Ed Woodward. Edwin van der Sar is actually the favourite to replace Ed Woodward. And if we got Edwin van der Sar in, I think it would be the right decision by the club because obviously Edwin van der Sar knows the club really well. He endured 6 years at Manchester United. As a goalkeeper, he was with us from 2005 to 2011. And Edwin van der Sar has got the experience. He's currently the CEO at Ajax. And you've got to credit him for how well he's done at Ajax. Don't forget Edwin van der Sar was linked with a technical director's role at Manchester United. Woodward, obviously, is standing by Solskjaer. He said earlier on this season he believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward, and he released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward, he's backing him. And Woodward's come out in general to show his support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer several times, even when was enduring them really, really bad periods. Who do you think should replace Ed Woodward at Manchester United? We're better off without him. If he's not here in the summer transfer window, then I think we'll actually do better in the summer transfer window. Now, you already know the news regarding the Glazers. Manchester United fans will protest against the Glazers before our game against Liverpool on Sunday. Our fans recently protested against the Glazer family outside Old Trafford, and our fans burnt the American flag. Not so long ago, our fans were protesting against the Glazers at Carrington, and it said some of our fans blocked entrances into the Carrington training ground to protest. And there was banners obviously saying Glazers out, 51% and MUFC 20. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently insisted that the Glazer family will not sell Manchester United. Solskjaer recently told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. The Red Knights have told the Glazers to sell Manchester United. The Glazers want £4 billion to sell the club. The Glazers have been at Manchester United 16 years now, because they've been with us since 2005. If the Glazers go, it'll be the right decision by Man United, because I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. So what we've got to do is recommend new owners in, and we need a new vice chairman in. The Glazers did recently apologise for the European Super League plans. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big this year's summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. In the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings, and I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up now. Reports said earlier on this season that Man United will spend big, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. He did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. The summer transfer window will be Ole's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. He should get good backing, such Solskjaer, if we obviously get new owners in, a new chairman in. And plus, obviously, we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. It was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in. And obviously, we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. I don't think Solskjaer has been backed enough yet as Manchester United manager. But there again, none of the managers have been backed enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. The board has been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time now. I can assure Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season, because it's already been made clear he will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League this season. The Europa League is our only chance of any silverware this season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and if we fail to win the Europa League this season, that'd be exactly 4 years without a trophy for Manchester United. We've got a good chance of winning it because we are into the Europa League semi-finals. It's 5 semi-finals in total under Solskjaer. Don't forget, Solskjaer did say last month that winning trophies can be an ego thing. But I've already said that Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Man United because progress has been made. But I can assure he's not the long-term manager for Manchester United, and I presume a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. But obviously our board think he's the long-term manager, because obviously earlier on this season it said Solskjaer agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. I think Ollie's got just under a year left on his current 3-year contract. But he is our best manager since Ferguson. So anyway, Man United are looking at a lot of players. Earlier on today, I give you some more news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. Now, it does say that Chelsea are the favourites to sign Rafael Varane. So reflecting on that, Chelsea are looking to hijack our move. He says Chelsea are prepared to pay Real Madrid's 61 million asking price. Christian Falk from Bild said not so long ago that Chelsea had entered the race. Chelsea recently suffered a blow in their pursuit of Jude Bellingham. It recently said, though, we'd been handed a boost in our pursuit of Raphael Varane because it said that Real Madrid are closing in on David Alaba from Bayern Munich. He says Raphael Varane prefers a move to Manchester United over PSG. PSG have also been in for him. Reports were stemming from Spain the other week saying that Man United were in advanced talks with Raphael Varane. So he reflects on that. He said his move to Man United was close. And he said we hope to lower Real Madrid's £60 million asking price. Raphael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. He's got just over a year left on his current contract. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Raphael Varane on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. And back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. The main explanations I'd take him at Manchester United is because he's a world-class centre-half. He'd complement Harry Maguire in our back line. He's highly experienced and I can assure he would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's got a good pedigree behind him as a player. He's won like 18 major honours at Real Madrid. He's been at Real Madrid 10 years, so he's been a long-serving player and he's made over 300 appearances. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. There's been quite a few centre-halves on our agenda. He said a few weeks ago that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. Now, Manchester United are still interested in Jules Koundé from Sevilla. Now, the last time I read up regarding him, it said Sevilla had slapped a 68 million asking price on Jules Koundé. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist and close to Man United, he spoke about it and he said Sevilla's 68 million asking price is complicating a deal, but he said he was one of the most appreciated players on Man United's radar. Now, earlier on this season, was a while ago now, but it said we'd been handed a boost in our bid to sign Jules Koundé because apparently it said that Sevilla had lowered their asking price for Jules Koundé to £50 million. But there was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that, you know, we was the favourites and we was prepared to pay around 61 million for him. You know, I'd certainly take him at Manchester United if we obviously missed out on Raphael Varane. He's a good centre-half and his performances for Sevilla have been very, very good. Sevilla paid just £22 million for him from Bordeaux in the summer of 2019 and he's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. Now, obviously, earlier on today, I spoke with you about Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. Now, we are the favourites by the bookies to sign Jadon Sancho this summer. Now, quite a few weeks ago, it said that Borussia Dortmund did give us a new Jadon Sancho transfer price, and it was £86 million. So they lowered their asking price because initially Dortmund were demanding £108 million. Borussia Dortmund have already admitted that they'll sell Jadon Sancho for the right price this summer. Borussia Dortmund's CEO did reveal that the club will discuss exceptional offers. Dortmund have already made it clear they won't let the players go for cut price deals. Now, it said earlier on this season that we was preparing to put a £50 million bid in because we believed we could get him for a cut price deal. He said earlier on this season that we dropped our interest in Sancho because of the progress of Mason Greenwood. Obviously, last summer, he was our number one priority target. But the main explanation we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million asking price. We was only willing to pay so much up front. You know, Fabrizio Romano's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Fark. You obviously know the news on Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. You know, we've been looking at some strikers. You know, obviously we've been relentlessly linked with Haaland. There's been narratives of Harry Kane possibly coming to Manchester United. I can almost assure he will leave Tottenham because Tottenham aren't going to get Champions League. I'd even take Dominic Calvert-Lewin at Man United. You know, he's a good striker and he's done very, very well for Everton. Quite a few players will leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. It looks like Edison Cavani is going to be leaving. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recently said that Edison Cavani's future has not been decided 100%. But Solskjaer recently hinted that Edison Cavani will leave in the summer. Now, he recently put a transfer request in Cavani and he had a meeting with Man United and he's asked to leave Man United to join Boca Juniors. I'll be disappointed if he leaves in the summer transfer window. I'd like him to stay for next season, and I presume a lot of United fans would, and so too would Solskjaer, because he's made an impact since he's come in. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial in the summer transfer window. I think we should, because he's no longer good enough to represent the club, and he's been out of form this season. He's actually out with injury now. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Juan Mata, I'm also expecting us to offload him because he doesn't get in R11. Donny van der Beek, I think we should offload him. The main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Man United. Nemanja Matic has a very, very good chance that we'll offload him because he's one of our first choice midfielders. You know, Pogba could still leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Phil Jones, I think we should offload him. Diego Dalot, we'll look to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. Romero should get rid of him because he's like our third or fourth choice goalkeeper now. And David De Gea, I think we should sell him because I reckon now he's had his years at Manchester United. He's been with us 10 years. He's been a long servant. And I'd say now Dean Henderson is our number one. Some Man United fans think it would be a mistake though to let David De Gea go. And Alex Telles, I think we could offload him because he hasn't been given enough opportunities at Man United. He's played nowhere near as much as I expected. When we got Telles last summer, I expected him to be our first choice left back. Calcio Mercato have recently said that Juventus are interested in Telles and they're willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in a swap deal for Telles. But Telles has decided that he wants to leave Man United. We got him in a deal worth 15.4 million. So yeah, sell players in the summer transfer window will generate money and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. A lot of players are going to stay at Man United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. So I can assure Dean Henderson will stay. He's the long-term future for Manchester United. Dean Henderson's done well in a lot of the games. You know, he's been in goal for. You know, Dean Henderson's kept a lot of clean sheets. You know, he's made good saves in a lot of games. His distribution's been good, and he's also made some good aerial claims. Wasn't great though against Burnley, was Dean Henderson. He looked very shaky when he was off his line. I think he's our number one, like I mentioned not so long ago. If he is number one, it's the right decision by Man United to put him as number one, because he has got that experience behind him. Don't forget, he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he's had other loan spells before. And before the start of this season, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Luke Shaw can assure he will be staying. Recent reports said that Man United are set to offer Luke Shaw a new 5-year contract worth £190,000 a week, reflecting on his good performances. So he's set to be given a £40,000 pay rise. He said though earlier on this season that Man United were set to enter talks with Luke Shaw regarding a new contract. I think he got like 2 years left on his current contract. But he's been our best player this season by far. And Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He's been at the club now over 6 years. But in a lot of his games this season, he's provided width. Defensively, he's been good. He's made good overlapping runs. He's got into good positions. And his crossing has also been very, very good. And he's good at creating chances for his teammates. Eric Bailly, obviously we now know that he's staying. Earlier on today, he said that Eric Bailly signed a new contract at Manchester United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly had like 1 year left on his current deal before he signed this new contract. Probably Bailly is confident that he'll find his way back into the team. That's probably the main explanation why he signed this new contract. Obviously, Bailly's just come back from COVID not so long ago, but he is now back. Solskjaer did actually say prior to the game against Burnley that he was relaxed over Bailly's future, and he did confirm that he was in contract talks. But before it got announced he signed a new contract, ESPN said that, Bailly was close to signing a new contract after breakthrough in negotiations. But earlier on this season, it said actually contract talks were on hold for Eric Bailly until he had assurances over his playing time. Good player though. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. Bailly's been at the club now quite a few years. My only element of concern about him is injury prone. Victor Lindelof, he'll stay potentially past the summer, but I don't think he'll be with us long term. Lindelof's actually done quite well in some games this season, where he showed the ability to play out from the back. He's been quite effective in the air. He's looked good from set pieces. He's threaded some very good long balls. But for me, he isn't consistent enough because he doesn't perform well persistently. He only performs well here and there. I've always had my strong reservations about Lindelof. He's been at the club now quite a few years. We got Lindelof in a deal worth 31 million from Benfica back in 2017. Harry Maguire, he'll also stay. I'm not too sure about long term. We certainly overpaid for Harry Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million. So he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club behind Paul Pogba. And Wan-Bissaka, I can assure he will stay at Man United. He's got a long-term future at the club. He's enjoyed quite a lot of good games at Man United, as Wan-Bissaka. Just needs to improve his attacking intent, and there's been some games this season where he's showed good attacking intent, but he's got to do it persistently. Defensively, he's always been superb, more or less. You know, this has been his second full season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes will stay. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is our best player, and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. He has made a difference in the team. In a lot of Bruno Fernandes' games, he has been very, very consistent, but there's also been some games where he has looked off the pace, but we have overplayed Bruno Fernandes, let's be honest, and I said at some point he does need a rest. He has been at the club now over a year, and don't forget back in January, when it was his 12-month anniversary, he said that he's planning on spending many years at Man United. Fernandes has won Player of the Month now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Now, he recently said that Bruno Fernandes will sign a new contract at Man United and stay at the club, but only if Paul Pogba does. So Paul Pogba's key to Bruno Fernandes signing this new contract, because earlier on this season it said Fernandes was refusing to sign a new contract until he had assurances over our transfer plans. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025. There's an option to extend for a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. Mason Greenwood, he'll also stay. He's been superb since he broke into our first team squad. Made his senior debut in 2019, and he's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a while. Earlier on this season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with the club. I said he deserved that new contract, reflecting on his good performances. There's only been a couple of games really where he has looked off the pace, and Ollie's been defending him a lot this season. Start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Sometimes we play Greenwood up top and sometimes we play him out on the right, but wherever we play him, we seem to just get the best out of him. Marcus Rashford, he'll also stay at the club. Marcus Rashford has become injury prone at Manchester United because he has sustained quite a few injuries. I think what we've got to do is keep Marcus Rashford out wide on the left, because that's where he's more effective. So, there you go. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager over 2 years, and this has been his second full season at the club. Now, like I've said to you, I do have my concerns about Solskjaer, but I've also got a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer as well. So there you go. I'm reflecting now on he's been at the club. He has gained some managerial experience in that, and he's learnt quite a bit on the job, but he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. But that doesn't mean he can't succeed as Manchester United manager. Obviously, a lot of United fans have been demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. Obviously, they've got main explanations why. But I still presume there's a lot of United fans that are Ole in, and they believe that he needs more time at the football club. You know, when we have been inconsistent, yes, some of the blame has stemmed from Ole in some aspects, but not all of the blame has stemmed from him. Obviously, certain players in that have got to take responsibility. You know, we appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The main reason the club gave him the job a couple of years ago was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Ole knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, Ole's spent almost 300 million at Manchester United so far, and he has made good signings. You know, he's obviously brought the likes of he's brought Daniel James in, brought Wan-Bissaka in, brought Harry Maguire in, brought Bruno Fernandes in, and he brought Odina Gallo in on loan. Gallo's no longer at the club now, though. He left in January. And also brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Amad Diallo Traore in for Facundo Palestri. We obviously loaned Facundo Palestri out in January. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. I like the way he's promoted the youth, Ollie. You know, giving the young players their chances and recommended more young players into the club. So he seems to have a lot of trustworthy in his young players. You know, this season, you know, Ole got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He's got us to the Europa League semi-final. We need Solskjaer, though, to get to his first major final as Manchester United manager. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League as well. We're unbeaten in our last 24 Premier League away games. You know, Ollie did well last season, his first full season, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a third place finish. And Solskjaer's beaten quite a few big-name managers as Manchester United manager. And his decision-making in some games has actually been very, very good. But analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been tactically naive. So Solskjaer's decision-making has to be good every single game, doesn't it? So there you go. So anyway, guys, on my next video, I'll be giving you a preview for the Man United-Roma game in the Europa League semi-final. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.